I want to tell you the story of Liam Husted, and it started just like this. Kid found deceased by some hikers.
Everybody ready? All right, good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Ray Spencer. I'm the homicide lieutenant with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. I'm out here this afternoon to brief you on a homicide investigation that we are conducting on State Route 160 near mile marker 20. That is the highway that leads between Las Vegas and Pahrump at a town called Mountain Pass. The details that I have right now are very preliminary, but I'm urging all your viewers to provide any help that they can on this case. At around 7:30 this morning, a group of hikers were on a trail right off of the highway near 160. As they were walking, one of the people in the hiking party had went off the trail and went behind a bush where she discovered the body of a very young juvenile. That juvenile, we believe, is around 10 years old. From our initial observation that we have conducted this morning, he is clearly the victim of a homicide. We are trying to identify him, and that is why we are here speaking with you right now. We're also unsure. He could be a white male, he could be a Hispanic male, or he could even potentially be an Asian male juvenile. He's somewhere between the ages of 8 and 12 years of age. What we know is, again, he has dark black hair, and with those descriptions that I've given you, anyone who cannot account for their grandson, their nephew, their grandson, or son, and does not know their whereabouts that fits that description, we urge them to call LVMPD Homicide at 828-3521. You can also reach out to Crime Stoppers, and you can do that anonymously, and there is reward money available. In addition, you can reach out to homicide at lvmpd.com. So again, very early on in the investigation, I'm going to provide an update to this case right here at 5:30 p.m. tonight as this investigation proceeds. But again, please reach out. We will have that number staffed at this point 24 hours a day as the investigation is ongoing. I will take a couple questions, but again, I'm going to be very tight-lipped as this is early on in the investigation.
The boy's body, was it like skeletal remains? Post? How long have you been there?
We believe he has very recently been there. Within the last 24 hours is when we believe he was left at the scene. And again, it's right off the highway off of 160 at Mountain Springs.
And because of the remote area, it could be somebody traveling where the body is put there. So that doesn't necessarily mean they're local. They could be from anywhere, right?
Very glad you said that. So not only the Las Vegas Valley, but I urge any viewers in Pahrump and also in the bordering communities in Southern California to please reach out to us and provide any information you can. At this point, it's very difficult for us until we can identify who this young boy is.
Can you give us any information about what might have killed him?
I'm not giving any of that information out right now. So, all right, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
And that was it. We didn't know whose baby that was, how he got there, or of course the biggest question of all, why anybody would do this. He was found naked on the side of a jogger's path. Let me show you the rest of his story.
Police believe the time of death was just within the last 20 For hours. Their priority is identifying the child so they can move forward with this investigation.
This here is a photograph that was conducted by our department's sketch artist of our victim.
Las Vegas police are calling for the public to help them identify the body of a boy they believe is just 10 years old.
Someone has to recognize this young man. It could be a neighbor, it could be a friend of the family.
He's described as Hispanic, 4'11", 123 pounds, and a little fuller in the chin than you see in the sketch. A group of hikers discovered his body. Police say around 8 Friday morning, the group found him in the area of the Mountain Springs Trailhead near mile marker 20 on State Route 160. A resident who lives in the area thought he heard footsteps from a neighbor earlier in the morning.
And I asked him, well, 6 this morning I heard footprints. You can hear them in the rocks. And I was like, was you out by the trailer this morning at 6? And he was like, no, I was down by the little pool thing working and doing whatever. So I think maybe whoever was here might have run up, past the trailer.
Police say they've been in contact with Henderson, North Las Vegas, authorities in Nye, and even San Bernardino counties. No agencies in the area have any children that match this description.
It's paramount that we're able to identify him so we can begin the key points of this investigation.
The police said if you have any information, no tip is too small.
So now we have a sketch. So we sort of know who we're looking for. But we don't have a name. And it turns out we had a bad sketch. I mean, I guess the sketch was close, but a little too close to somebody else's child. So a mother called in, and she was pretty sure it was her baby. Turns out it wasn't. Let me show you how that worked out, because it is part of Liam's story.
Lieutenant Ray Spencer, I'm the homicide lieutenant with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. I'm out here today to update you on the investigation that we have been conducting for the last 2 days. So this morning, I provided a press conference where I provided some information in regards to an Amber Alert, and we were looking to identify a father and an 11-year-old child. You've probably since learned that we have located both the father and the 11-year-old child, and they are both well in Utah. I kind of want to walk you through some details of what occurred late last night into this morning. So I told you earlier again how at around midnight we received a phone call from a panicked mother who stated that she had seen news coverage and was confident that the photograph that she observed on TV was her son. That phone call prompted police to respond. The watch commander notified me at home, where I then spoke with the mother. She shared some photographs with me, and we discussed some details regarding her son. At that point, after getting those details, I identified the child as being the 8-year-old that I mentioned this morning. In addition to that, we learned that there was a half-brother who was also missing along with the 8-year-old. We spoke with the mother of that child, who stated that she had also seen the video cover, or the news coverage of the case from yesterday. She also believed that the photograph that was shown was the half-brother of her son. At that point, from interviewing her, she provided details that she had not seen or heard from her son as well in the last 24 hours, and was also concerned for his welfare. With those details that were provided, we immediately began working, trying to locate both the father and the 11-year-old that were missing. And that was taking place early this morning at around 5 and 6 o'clock this morning. At about the same time, social media posts were posted basically linking these two cases. I'm not going to get into the specifics of those posts that went out this morning, but we began to receive multiple phone calls linking both cases. At that point, due to the fact that we had some serious concerns for the welfare of the missing 11-year-old, that is when we held the press conference this morning and shared his photograph along with the photograph of the father. As a result of that news coverage, immediately after the press conference, we began to receive information that they were spotted in Utah. At that point, we held off on the Amber Alert. Authorities in Utah began assisting us, and we were able to locate both the father, the 11-year-old, and also the 8-year-old child. We got confirmation about an hour and a half ago through FaceTime that the 8-year-old was in fact alive. So what has occurred is that the misidentification that started over in the middle of the night, we are still in the situation right now where we have not identified the child that was found out in Mountain Springs yesterday morning. I stress we are still working around the clock trying to identify this child. He is an 8 to 10-year-old Hispanic male. He's 123 pounds. And again, the sketch that was provided earlier, we are working on an updated sketch. I've been in communication with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and they are working on getting us a digitally enhanced photograph, and hopefully we will have that tomorrow that we can provide. So again, that's just an outline of where we are at. We are still scouring hundreds of tips that we are receiving, and detectives again are continuing to work around the clock. With that, I'll take a couple questions. Ricky?
How far back does this set your investigation into the actual homicide? When is it discouraging?
Again, we're very happy that the mother was able to get the news that her 8-year-old child was found alive. Again, that is, and the 11-year-old child was found unharmed. That is the exact reason that we pushed out all the information that was pushed out this morning. As far as the investigation never stops. Even when we have one lead and we are working in one direction, we are still taking all those tips, and we still have people that are working incoming tips as they are coming. Obviously, we're taking a look at everything that has came in over the last 36 hours, but again, it's still very active.
Did the father ever explain why he wasn't in touch with these mothers sooner, why it took so long to get in touch with them?
And yes, I'm glad you brought that up. He was in an area in central Utah with no cell phone coverage. So he was able to, family members were able to get a hold of him this morning after the press conference, and then he was able throughout the afternoon to make it to a location where there was cell phone service, and that's when the cell phone call was placed at about 2 o'clock this afternoon to us.
Can you tell us anything about any promising leads that you might have at this point?
I'm not going to get into any specific leads as far as trying to identify. We are doing everything we can. We are still in the same position I was yesterday when I was asking for any assistance any of your viewers can provide. Please, we are staffing an around-the-clock call center taking tips as they come in. Sean?
Could you go into a little bit about the urgency of making that call this morning to put these pictures out, even when obviously some things were up in the air, we knew exactly what was going on, but the reason why it was important to get that out there?
Well, the reason is when the information that is provided, we are going to do everything that we can when a child's, the safety of a child is involved. And that is exactly what we did this morning. And again, I talked about there was information that was circulating on Facebook a little sooner than we would have liked to have done. But again, with the information, with a positive identification through the coroner's office, the multiple different things that I discussed, that information, we are going to come public and do everything we can to locate a potential person that we're concerned about. Yes.
Is this your normal protocol, having the family identified through pictures?
As far as the coroners, I'd have to refer you to the Clark County Coroner's Office for their normal protocol on how they do identifications.
Let's say in a week or two somebody comes forward and says that this is their child, would you guys be doing anything differently rather than having them just identified through pictures?
Again, when you deal deal with identifications. That is the Clark County. We don't deal with identifications at the police department. The identifications are made through the Clark County Coroner's Office. Once the Coroner's Office has made an identification, that is when we begin and we start working forward once that identification has been made. Caitlin?
After seeing the pictures from the autopsy, do you know why the mother thought it was her child? Did they just look alike?
I've looked at these photos, detectives have looked at these photos, and the mother has looked at these photos. There is a very, very close resemblance when you look at the photographs and the autopsy photographs and the child, the 8-year-old child. And I'll just leave it at that. You know, yes.
How many mothers? Was it just one mother that misidentified, or two?
Well, one that I was actually shown photographs that made a misidentification. However, the other mother had seen photographs that were shown, or the sketch that was shown. It was her statements that she also stated that she believed that the child shown in the photograph or in the sketch was in fact Daniel as well.
And at this point, how high was your confidence level, considering all of those things, all those identifications that you had with the correct child?
Well, again, as an investigator, you continue to take all leads as they come in. You don't rule out anything, even when, as I mentioned earlier, as these tips are still coming in, we are still planning for contingencies as far as if, in fact, this is not a person that we're looking for, we're going to have another plan in a different path. And that is exactly what we have been doing all throughout the afternoon and, again, all throughout the night. We're, I think, 36 hours into this, and we have a full team of investigators working around the clock.
Can you confirm that 8-year-old's name?
The 8-year-old...
Eden's brother.
Okay, at this point, no, I cannot.
You just mentioned the namesake Daniel.
Yeah, again, I'm not going to get into confirmation of a name. So, all right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. All right.
Metro Police still trying to identify what is believed to be a 10-year-old boy found murdered near Mountain Springs on Friday. This morning, detectives gave an update on the investigation. Victoria Saha is live right now from Metro headquarters with the latest. Victoria.
John, we're now on to day 4 since that body of that little boy was found. Now, over the weekend, police thought that they had a solid lead when a mother came forward claiming it was her child, but it turned out to be a case of misidentification. Since then, we've gotten a digitally enhanced picture. Police are hoping that someone knows who this boy is. Hikers had found the body of the boy Friday morning. Detectives believe the boy was placed there sometime on Thursday. Details are still very limited right now on how the boy died, but police did make it clear he was murdered, and the boy's death was recent. Up until now, they still have not been able to positively identify the child, but today we are learning they have gotten hundreds of tips from across the country, but their focus is Nye and Clark County. Metro Police also says they have followed up on every lead and tip coming in and went door to door to see if this boy belongs to a certain household. They believe someone knows something and wants
family members, people that recognize the digitally enhanced photograph that was pushed out over the weekend. If that was a student of theirs, call the tip line, let us know. That information is 100% anonymous, and we are physically going door to door looking to make sure that those children are okay. And it could just be, a grandmother who hasn't seen their grandson in several days, and, at some point the excuses have to stop.
They say he has black hair and brown eyes, and they will continue their investigation until they are able to identify this boy. Again, this boy is believed to be Hispanic, around 8 to 10 years old, weighing 123 pounds and 4'11". If you know anything, you are asked to call police. Reporting live from Metro headquarters, Victoria Saha.
There's a manhunt going on for a possible murdering mother. Yep, more filicide. Exactly. We don't know for sure, but she was the last person seen with him. She left the area from him and his father about the 25th of May. Dad got a little nervous because he hadn't talked to her or his son in about 6 days. So on the 1st, he did give a call just out of concern, I guess, to law enforcement, but he did not file an official report or press charges because he didn't want to get her in trouble. I guess he thought maybe she was just ghosting him. I don't know. But he did reach out And they have been very clear in the press conference that he is not a suspect at all. So, we are on the lookout for the mother of this child. This is the sketch that we've all been using for about 10 days, trying to find out who is this baby that somebody just tossed by the side of the road like litter. I didn't hear about a garbage bag or anything this time, just a body. I mean, really? Who does that? Well, right now it looks like she did. Samantha Moreno Rodriguez. She's from the San Jose, California area. She's 35 years old. She was last seen in Denver, Colorado, with her car completely packed. No room for any passengers. I think she's on the run. She is driving a 2007 dark blue Dodge Caliber. License plate 6 Whiskey Lima Hotel 211. For all my non-military people, that's going to be 6 WLH 211. Please keep your eyes peeled. They also mentioned in the press conference that the tips from us spreading the word and sharing the sketch is how we got where we are. So please, please don't underestimate the power of sharing on social media. Hit that button. It only takes a second. You will never know the life you might save. Just a reminder, as you can see from the timeline, for Liam, he is no longer little Zion. His mother, her car was last spotted in Grand Junction, Colorado on the 29th. She was spotted at a hotel in Denver, Colorado on May 31st. Take a look at his adorable little face. Little Liam Husted. We know his name now. Look at that smile. And I have to say that the final sketch that they drafted up was pretty spot on. Thank God for that. Now, can we please just give him a decent burial and get justice for Liam?
In the last few hours, a little boy whose body was dumped in a Las Vegas desert, now identified as a 7-year-old from San Jose, prompting a nationwide search for his mother, who police believe is his killer. KPIX5's Maria Medina is live at the San Jose Police Department with the very latest. Maria?
And Liz, that little boy now identified as 7-year-old Liam Husted, his body dumped in a Nevada desert, and now the police and the FBI on the hunt for his mother. And just a short while ago, police identified his mother as Samantha Moreno Rodriguez. Here's what police have pieced together so far. The 35-year-old and her son Liam left San Jose on May 24th. They were seen in Laguna Beach and then Victorville, California on the 26th. 2 days later, little Liam's body was found by hikers right outside Las Vegas near the Mountain Springs Trailhead. Police were then able to trace Rodriguez halfway across the country in Colorado. Here's what police said just a short while ago.
The last contact that anyone has seen of Samantha is at a Denver area hotel room on the 31st of
Guys, here we go again. Another child dead. This woman in a hotel room trying to leave state. We heard that Teresa Rocky Balboa was trying to go to Louisiana. I still don't know what the hell she was trying to do. The reason why she was going to Louisiana, I don't know what the hell is in Louisiana that she was trying to go to. I guess that was a getaway city or whatnot. But here we are again, and it seems like the more we do these stories, it's got some similarities up in it. It does, you know. And again, the question just had to be asked, you know, what can these children, or what have these children done so wrong to make you do this? And what about us as men? What have we done so wrong to make you that upset that you want to kill somebody that I impregnate you with? What did I do so wrong for you to do that? Was I really that much of a bastard that you want to hurt my child? My son or my daughter? Was I that much of a bastard? I don't know.
May, when she checked in by herself to a hotel room in the Denver area. At this point, there is about an hour ago, we obtained an arrest warrant, nationwide extradition for open murder for Samantha Moreno Rodriguez.
And this is the car Rodriguez was last seen driving, a dark blue Dodge Caliber, California license plate 6WLH211. Again, 6WLH211. Police say the back was packed with belongings. Again, here's a picture of Liam's mother, Samantha Moreno Rodriguez, now identified as the suspect in her 7-year-old son's murder. His body found on May 28th by hikers just outside Las Vegas, Nevada. San Jose police, where we are standing right now, they are referring all media inquiries to Las Vegas police. Las Vegas police have told us that the father actually reached out to them when he hadn't heard from Rodriguez and his son, and that a family friend also reported them missing on Friday. That was the turning point for this case. Because of that missing persons report, they were able to identify Liam in that way. Liz?
So that's where we were. No longer little Zion Doe. Now we know Liam Husted. That's his name. He was only 7 years old. At this point in his story, we know who did it. Samantha Moreno Rodriguez, his mother, his biological mother. We know she left him there deceased and naked on the side of a jogger's path about 6 o'clock in the morning. We don't know why. We don't know when she killed him, how she killed him. We're just now getting ready to investigate. We just needed to know who this baby was.
Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Ray Spencer. I'm the homicide lieutenant with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. I'm here this afternoon to brief you on the homicide investigation that we have been conducting for the last 10 days that occurred a week ago Friday in Mountain Springs. Over the last 10 days, we have put in a tremendous amount of resources and effort in an attempt to identify the victim of the homicide that occurred. I specifically want to thank a few agencies that has made this press conference possible this afternoon. First off, I'd like to thank the Clark County Coroner's Office. They have been a tremendous partner, and they have also worked tirelessly the last week and a half on this case. In addition, I want to thank the San Jose Police Department for the work that they have done to assist us in identifying the victim. And lastly, the work from the forensics lab who worked and came in over the weekend to make an identification possible. So I will walk you through some of the details that occurred starting Friday night. So again, all last week we had detectives working through hundreds of leads in an effort to identify the victim. Friday evening at around 8 p.m., I received a phone call from a sergeant with the San Jose Police Department who stated that they believed they had a potential victim of a missing person who they believed may have been our victim. At that point, they sent photographs to me After looking at those photographs, we believed that there was a very good possibility that the missing person case that they were working in San Jose was related to our homicide investigation. The following morning, Saturday morning, we did a lot of workup in investigative techniques in an effort to positively identify and link the two cases. That morning, I sent a detective to San Jose, California. They flew there. They retrieved a clothing and a pillow that belonged to the missing 7-year-old child in San Jose. That detective flew back to Las Vegas a couple hours later, and yesterday morning, a scientist came into the forensic lab and began working on processing DNA evidence to confirm that the victim was in fact the 7-year-old child. Late last night, we positively identified the victim as 7-year-old Liam Husted, L-I-A-M, Husted, H-U-S-T-E-D. He is a 7-year-old child who lives in San Jose, California. What we have learned is that he is last seen in the San Jose area on May 24th. So what occurred was a family friend of the mother, who is 35-year-old Samantha Marino Rodriguez. The family friend stated that she had not seen Samantha or Liam in over 2 weeks. She also knew that there was a missing, or that the two of them were missing. She saw news coverage from our case here in Las Vegas and saw the composite sketch that was pushed out to the media. After seeing that, she believed that the sketch resembled Liam. She then went to the San Jose Police Department on Friday, prompting the chain of events that I outlined. So what we have learned from the two of them, Samantha and Liam, left San Jose, California, driving a 2007 dark blue Dodge Caliber. They left San Jose on the 24th of May. We can place them in the area of Laguna Beach on the afternoon of the 26th of May. Later that afternoon, we know the vehicle was in the area of Victorville, California, late in the afternoon on the 26th of May. Liam was discovered early in the morning on the 28th of May. Shortly thereafter, on the 29th of May, we know that the vehicle was traveling on I-70 near Grand Junction, Colorado. The last contact that anyone has seen of Samantha is at a Denver area hotel room on the 31st of May, when she checked in by herself to a hotel room in the Denver area. At this point, there is about an hour ago, we obtained an arrest warrant, nationwide extradition for open murder for Samantha Marino Rodriguez. I urge anyone, we still need assistance, anyone who may have recognized her and Liam in the Las Vegas Valley on the 27th or 28th of May, driving, again, the dark blue Dodge Caliber. We understand that the vehicle was packed full of belongings. And when I say packed, I believe that the back seat and cargo compartment of the car had no room for anyone to sit, and it was packed completely. We are asking anyone who works at a hotel or a motel in the Las Vegas Valley to please check their hotel register for the days of the 27th and 28th to see if Samantha checked into a hotel here in the Las Vegas Valley. You can also, if you have that information, you can reach out to Crime Stoppers, or you can call the homicide tip line at 702-828-3521. So again, there's a lot of moving parts to this investigation. It is still extremely active and ongoing. The FBI local office here and their national field offices are assisting us at this point in attempting to apprehend Samantha. With that, I will take a couple questions.
What do you know about Moreno Rodriguez? What have you learned?
Again, she's a 35-year-old woman who lives in the San Jose area, and again, she is the mother of 7-year-old Liam. We know, again, she left on the 24th, and that's what prompted this investigation. In the back.
Was there ever a sign of, did they talk about a relationship or a history of abuse or anything between Samantha and him?
There's nothing at this point that would indicate there's any prior abuse that we're aware of. Again, it's still a lot of moving parts and still very active, but nothing that has been brought to our attention at this point.
Do you know anything about why they left San Jose?
We don't know the specifics. We're still trying to find out. We're still interviewing family and friends, trying to piece all that together.
Any possible motive?
We don't know a possible motive. That's why we're still reaching out. We're still asking for the public's assistance or anybody who knows her to reach out to us, or anyone who's had any communication specifically to reach out to the police department.
I just have a follow-up.
Yes.
Did you have to break the news to this child's parents that this was his body, and can you kind of talk about that?
The Clark County coroner specifically made the death notification. I spoke with the father about 60 minutes ago before I came out here because I didn't want him to see this press conference without me explaining what was about to transpire. I will tell you it's a heartbreaking conversation to have. This has been an emotional last 10 days for myself, all the investigators that have been working on it, and we're just glad we're able to get some closure for Liam and then hold the person responsible for this crime accountable. So that's what our focus is right now. Yes?
Any connection to Las Vegas with the two that you know of?
We don't know. I mean, we do know that Samantha has visited Las Vegas in the past. There's been photographs that we have recovered that does show that she's been here previously, but as far as why she was in the Las Vegas Valley that day, we don't know. Yes?
She's traveling alone, or she might have somebody with her.
At this point, we believe, from the information that we have obtained at this point, we believe she is traveling alone. And she was last seen alone in the Denver area on the 31st.
Do you know anything about the relationship between her and the boy's father?
I'm not going to get into the specifics of that portion of it. I don't know enough about the family dynamics.
So Liam wasn't officially declared a missing person until Friday, right? Were there any indications that they were trying to get a hold of him the days prior?
So the father had made a report on the 1st, but the father did not feel that his son was in harm's way. When the mother left with the child, he did contact the police because he had not heard from her or his son. Again, not trying to get the mother into trouble. He didn't want to file any type of charges or anything, but he did contact the police on the 1st. And just to be clear, he is not a suspect, and there's no involvement whatsoever that we suspect on his behalf. In the back. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
It didn't take long at all to catch up to her. One step closer to justice, one step closer to victory. Already, I'm just getting the information out, and already Denver has cracked down on Miss Samantha Moreno Rodriguez. Check it out.
That's right, Kaz. Breaking news just into the Fox 5 newsroom. Less than 24 hours after identifying the little boy found dead on a hiking trail outside of Las Vegas, as well as his mother, police have arrested Samantha Moreno Rodriguez. The 35-year-old mom was arrested in Denver, Colorado by the Denver Rocky Mountain Safe Streets Task Force. This investigation was led by the FBI Denver division there. She will be booked into an area jail pending extradition here to Las Vegas. We are expecting Metro Police to hold a news conference this afternoon at 2 p.m. to provide more details. Fox 5 will, of course, be there and provide those new updates on air and online. But for now, that's the latest here, guys. I'll send it back to you.
May 24th, the father of Liam returned home to his house in San Jose, California. When the father arrived home, he noticed that all of Liam's belongings and all of Samantha's belongings were gone. There was a message that was left for him by Samantha. And I'm just going to quote a little bit of that message, but she specifically tells him, quote, "I'm sorry I had to do it like this." She also goes on to say that I'm going to try to get a house for Liam and I, and that we can talk about this in the future. There was nothing suspicious in that message that would lead the father to believe that Liam or Samantha were involved in any kind of foul play or that there was any harm potentially to come. Over the next week, the father basically did not know what to do. It was on June 1st that the father contacted the San Jose Police Department because he wanted to document the incident. San Jose police responded to his house and they spoke with him. The patrol officers listened to this message. I've also listened to the message, and there was nothing suspicious from that message. It indicated that Samantha had basically left him and took the child, or took Liam with her, and they were going somewhere else. He did not want to get Samantha in trouble, and he chose not to file a report to document the parental abduction. It was on the 4th when a friend of Samantha's noticed the sketch that had been circulating on local news networks, and she also knew that Samantha was missing. After observing that, she then went to the San Jose Police Department and explained to them that she felt that Liam could potentially be the person in that sketch. As soon as San Jose police were presented with that information, they immediately launched an investigation and were very persistent in getting a hold of me. That is when they spoke with me that evening, and that's when we began coordinating our investigations. It is the following morning that we flew there, retrieved the pillow from Liam's bedroom, and brought that back to our forensics lab. So we have I talked yesterday about the information where we could put Samantha in Laguna Beach. We also could place her in Victorville. Since the press conference yesterday, we can place her at a local hotel here in Las Vegas on the 27th. When she was at that hotel, we believe from the information that we have right now that Liam was alive. From there, on the 28th, is when we found Liam's body at Mountain Springs. This morning, at around 6 a.m., members of the FBI's apprehension team in Denver took her into custody. I will turn this press conference over at this point to Jeremy with the FBI.
All right, good afternoon. I stood up here last week announcing the reward the FBI was offering for the identification of our victim. I expressed that this child had the right to be referenced by his given name, and he deserved law enforcement's commitment to this investigation. While the outcome is heartbreaking, there's a sense of closure that Liam Husted will no longer be referred to as a John Doe. This morning, an arrest was made by FBI's Denver's Rocky Mountain Safe Streets Task Force, which is made possible due to the coordinated effort between members of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, the Las Vegas Criminal Apprehension Team, and the FBI Denver Field Office. While different cities, FBI task forces may have different names in different cities, but their purpose is all the same. It's standard practice for the FBI to assist our local law enforcement partners if we have a tool, a tactic, or a technique that will be of any use. And this investigation, we are fortunate that we're able to assist in this case. We're very thankful for our strong working relationships within the Las Vegas Police Department, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and the law enforcement officers within this community. I do want to just extend my appreciation to the media for your cooperation and your assistance in getting out as much information as you possibly could in such a quick time frame, and also to thank the public for their commitment and for their assistance in us getting to a resolution.
So at this point, I'll take some questions if you do have them.
Any information on the arrest? Was it a tip, and was it 6 a.m. local time here, or?
It was around 6 o'clock local time, give or take a few minutes this morning. I'm not going to get into the investigative tactics that were utilized by the apprehension team in Denver, but it was solely on the work that the FBI task force there did that led to the arrest. Go ahead.
Obviously, you guys have been working on this case really hard for the past 2 or so weeks. How significant is solving this case for you and your detectives?
Well, like I said, you know, the entire department, specifically my detectives, myself, it's emotionally draining working a case like this. Being able to have closure and identify Liam was very important, and now that we're able to make an arrest on this case, is extremely gratifying. In the back.
Last we heard she was seen on the 31st at a hotel in Denver. A lot of time has passed since then. Do you get a sense of what she was doing in Denver? Was she still bouncing around the hotels? Any idea why she chose Denver as her?
We don't know why she was in Denver. I know, like I said, we had her in Colorado even before the hotel room on the 31st, and we do know she was again at a hotel this morning in Denver. Why Denver, we don't know. We have detectives that are on the ground right now conducting interviews with her, and again, that's ongoing. So some of that information could come out as a result of those. Yes.
Do you believe that she was alone during this last week or so?
During the time that Liam was killed, we believe she was alone at that time.
Lieutenant, was she also alone in Denver when she was found?
She was not alone in Denver when she was found. However, the person that was taken, that she was with in Denver, we do not believe has any involvement whatsoever in this case.
I have a couple of other questions.
Okay, I'll come back with you, Ken. Yes.
Was Rodriguez arrested peacefully? Was there any resistance or anything like that?
She was taken into custody without incident.
What happens to the car? Is it considered part of evidence, and what do you do since it's in Denver and you guys are here?
So we are currently making arrangements. The FBI sealed the vehicle this morning when she was taken into custody. We will have that vehicle towed back to Las Vegas and processed at the LVMPD forensics lab. Ken?
The person she was found with in Denver is male or female?
She was with a male this morning in Denver.
One person.
That is correct.
So one person, a male in Denver. Had she stayed in some place other than a hotel?
That we don't know at this point. And again, we're in the process of interviewing her right now. Yes.
Trying to piece this together, she left, she went to Laguna, she was there for like a day and a half, and then came to Las Vegas and stayed, and then to Denver. It seems just like such an odd route to take. Do you have any sense of why this was her path, what her intentions were all for this trip?
It appears, and this is just our detective speculating, that she drove down Pacific Coast Highway when we have her in Laguna Beach, and then shortly thereafter she's in the Victorville area. We don't know why that route was taken. Vanessa?
When you're trying to identify a body, and in particular a child like this, and you have that sketch and you're asking for information, how does that information get to other police departments, and how much do you rely on them if they do have a missing child? And I know in this case it wasn't a missing report, but how much do you rely on the other departments?
Well, that information we coordinate through the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And I also, going back, we would also not be here if it was not the work that the National Center did. Their cooperation and their assistance is paramount in this investigation. So when that sketch is generated, that sketch is sent out to multiple agencies. But again, you're looking at a sketch. I mean, I'll tell you what I have learned over the last 10 days is how many missing children there are nationally. I was inundated with reports of missing children from all over the United States. And when I said we had hundreds of tips come in, we were going through all of those because there are so many missing children in the United States. And trying to make an identification from the photograph of the missing children, you know, it's a very complicated and time-consuming process. Yes?
Do we know the relationship between Liam's father and Rodriguez? Are they married? Are they divorced? Do they have joint custody? What's going on?
I believe it's a common law type marriage. They've been together for an extensive amount of time. They are both the parents of Liam. Yes?
Before I ask about the reward from the Special Agent Sports, will you tell us how Liam died?
Right now, we're not going to get into the specifics on how he died. We do have an idea of how he died. Until the coroner releases the actual result of the autopsy, which is pending toxicology, we're not going to discuss that at this point. And just to follow up on your next question, the FBI does not disclose or discuss the results of reward, the results of the reward money. So,
is there any clearer picture of why this may have happened?
As far, again, we should have a little bit better idea on motive once we get to the investigation continues. Like I said, we're in Denver right now. We're still following up on a lot of those leads. So,
is it too early to ask you about the special needs relation to the special needs of Liam?
I don't
Father refers to those in an email to the San Jose Mercury.
Yeah, regardless of what the father has discussed, is that we don't discuss medical history or information publicly. Yes.
Can you give me a sense of her mental state when she was arrested? Is competency going to play a role here, and what's the timeline for getting her back to Las Vegas?
So I'll address the second part of your question, not the first. So in the timeline is right now she will have an option to waive extradition. If she waives extradition, she would probably be back in Las Vegas by the end of the week. If she fights that, then we'll obtain a governor's warrant, and that could be up to 30 days. Vanessa?
Do you believe that Liam may have been the victim of long-term abuse, and do you know if any child welfare agency had ever been involved with this family?
There is nothing that indicates there was any type of long-term abuse whatsoever, nor any type of involvement with social services prior to that. Kate?
I know you're not releasing the cause of death right now, but is it fair to say that he died in Vegas?
Yes, we are 100% confident that he was killed here in Clark County. Specifically, we believe he was actually killed in Mountain Springs. Yes.
Is there any indication between Rodriguez and Liam's father that there was any sort of domestic strife between them that would cause her to maybe take the child or anything?
No, there again, and I kind of addressed that. There was nothing, obviously they've been together, I don't know their, the personal relationship as far as that, but there was nothing that indicates that. There was no prior involvement with the San Jose Police Department. So I'll take one more question. Yeah, go ahead.
I know you mentioned toxicology. Was there a weapon involved in the slaying?
I'm not going to answer that question specifically. Yeah, I'll take one more.
You listened to the message from her, to her significant other here. She intended on finding a house and moving out. Did you believe that message? Do you reasonably believe that she had good intent when she did?
I don't know what her intent was, but I'll tell you from listening to the message, there was nothing that indicated any type of suspicion or foul play. And that's, what the father expressed as well. The father was, didn't know what to do. After the week took place, that's when he contacted the police, and then he still, again, chose not to make a report for any type of child abduction. They documented it per his request, and that's what took place there. All right, thank you.
Do you know where Samantha and stayed on the night of 26th, Wednesday night? That would have been the night they were last seen in Laguna, then Victorville, presumably coming here.
So again, still early on. I do know where she stayed on the 27th, so we're still working those type of things, and we eventually have those answers.
Were they in a hotel, or did they stay in a car?
On the 27th, they were in a hotel here locally. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Tonight, loved ones gathered in San Jose to remember Liam Husted. The 7-year-old's body was found by hikers on a southern Nevada trail nearly 2 weeks ago. Authorities arrested the boy's mother in Colorado earlier this week. ABC 7 News reporter Amanda Del Castillo has more from tonight's emotional vigil.
Look how many people loved you.
Speaking to a crowd of family and friends, Nicholas Husted described his 7-year-old son Liam, the little boy with a big smile who loved La Colina Park in San Jose.
This was his second home. Every time, every day, here. This is the park that we want to go. So, that hill right there, he beat me up there.
Now, the uphill battle to make any sense of what happened to his son. Liam's body was found on a trailhead outside Las Vegas on May 28th. He was formally identified earlier this week after investigators got a tip from a family friend who recognized a sketch of the child and called police. Through a nationwide search, the FBI found and arrested Liam's mother, 35-year-old Samantha Moreno Rodriguez, on Tuesday morning in Denver.
He did not deserve any of that. And that's what I wanted him to know, is that he was a good boy. He didn't do anything wrong. And Daddy loved him so much.
Husted says he last saw Liam on the 23rd, the night before going to work.
Normally I would sleep with him, and Sunday I didn't. Normally I'm in bed holding his hand, and I didn't.
And these are the type of things that I'll never get back.
But Husted is taking with him the memories, calling Liam smart, energetic, mischievous.
You know, he was amazing.
And he won't soon forget the moments made here, at his son's favorite park, Liam's second home.
I just look in every direction and I see him, you know. So it's nice to be here with him.
In San Jose, I'm Amanda Del Castillo, ABC.
I wouldn't think any mother would want to have anything to do with their child's death. That's very disturbing.
The family's former neighbor shocked over the death of 7-year-old Liam Husted.
In passing, I never seen anything like her being mean or aggressive towards him.
The exhaustive search to identify the young boy came to a swift end this weekend when a family friend saw this sketch and believed it could be Liam. A Metro detective booked a hasty trip to San Jose to gather evidence to confirm a DNA match.
Clothing and a pillow that belonged to the missing 7-year-old child in San Jose.
Police say Rodriguez and Liam left San Jose on May 24th. They were spotted in Victorville and Laguna Beach May 26th. Just days later, on the 28th, a hiker found Liam's body in Mountain Springs. The next day, police say Rodriguez drove through Grand Junction, Colorado, and on May 31st, she was seen in Denver, where she checked into a hotel alone. The car she was driving, this 2007 dark blue Dodge Caliber, apparently preparing for a long trip.
We understand that the vehicle was packed full of belongings.
Investigators say a week ago, Liam's father filed a missing persons report because he had not heard from the pair, but at the time, the father did not believe Liam was in danger. Liam's grandparent on his father's side told us in a statement, "We're devastated. Liam was a happy, sweet, innocent child who adored his father. It's a complete tragedy, and Liam will be very missed. My son is distraught by the news. Liam was a special needs child, at a disadvantage and dependent on others' kindness. Unfortunately, his mother took that away."
My son and I are getting ready to go on a little trip. And we're going up to Route 160. Because I have to see the trailhead and I have to see the memorial if it's still there. And I have to see the area. Because I need to understand why she did it there. How she did it there. Just how my brain works. Anybody who's followed for any amount of time, you know. I don't think that the media covers enough. I think they cover just enough to get the word out, which is awesome, and then enough to get ratings after that. And I don't care about ratings. I care about getting the word out. Anyway, we're headed out to Route 160, so I'll upload a video of that later today and show you guys what I see as I see it. It's always bittersweet. So we get to get that bird's eye view, but I'm going to tell you, there is a feeling you can't shake right away when you are somewhere where you know someone was dead or murdered or anything like that. So please don't take it lightly when you see videos like that done. Anyway, great news. We're finally going to get this lady into court. Finally going to get some more details, hopefully a motive. So... okay, so listen. Well, they said it was just off. And that's the memorial. Yeah, get on out of here. Who are you?
You've arrived at your destination.
So these are all trails. These are all trails. Where's the... Okay, we are recording. Hey, beautiful people. Bear with me because I'm walking. I just pulled in off of Highway 160. wasn't hard to find. If you were to navigate Mountain Springs Trailhead, you'd find it, but once you're out here, you certainly can't miss that memorial. Liam Husted was found in this area. I'm going to walk over to the memorial first, but I want to show the surrounding area. Looks like a big snake hole right there. A lot of woods here. A lot of kind of open area, if you will, where you can tell that maybe the park rangers have to drive through and stuff, but a lot of brush. I'm going to show you that, but first we have to show our love. Little Liam. This is his memorial. 2013 to 2021. Liam. Let's see what this is. Look how many people love you, Liam. So happy, funny, and intelligent. You are such a great son. I love you so much. You will always be my little angel. We've got flowers. This candle. Got a gift from Nay. It's so windy out here the last few days, so that's why his stuff is falling over. We got a Tonka truck. He can have a lot of fun with that in heaven. Teddy bears. More bears. It's cute. Some popcorn out there. Looks yummy. They've got lights, so at night it looks like this is lit up. That's awesome. There's his picture. Liam Husted, age 7. Another cross here with his name on it. Liam plays in God's garden now. Thank you, Lord. The original name, Little Zion, because of the area up here. That's what it's called. It's got a Happy Meal. That's so adorable. It's like somebody drew him a picture with his name. That was the initial poster when they were seeking to find who he was out here. Got the American flag. One of his little, I forget what you call these things, wind chime? No, that's not what you call it. Anyway, that one. Okay. No candles. There's just a sign that says no candles. So if anybody comes out, yeah, right now is a bad time in Nevada in the desert period for fire. So that's his beautiful memorial. And if you see, you guys notice in the background there, see there's a truck headed up there. So I'm going to show you why I pointed that out, but one last look. And This beautiful memorial. Up close and personal. Oh God, up close and personal. It's always another feeling. Oh no, we got a teddy bear over here. This Las Vegas wind can be something else. Oh, it's so soft. Here, let's put him in here, this guy. So what I want to show you now is my son and I just drove up this road here. This is Highway 160. I think you heard all the traffic the whole time I've been here. It's not quiet. And there's a lot of shrubbery and a lot of, if you got out, if you walk right away, here's the memorial. And if you just go directly in front of it, a lot of people can see me right now. If I had a deceased child, unless he was walking with me, it would look kind of weird from here. So I don't believe this is how Samantha got into the area that she was in. I'll show you. Right here where the stop sign is, right there in front of me. That's where you pull in off the highway. If you look straight across, there's like a little road up there. Now, there's signs out here to tell you no vehicles past this point. So it's only select vehicles, I believe, that can go up there. But we know from that truck I just showed you going up another one of those type of paths, vehicles can certainly get up there. But I don't think she did that. And again, this part is speculation because so far I haven't seen them show exactly where his body was found. Only the memorial spot at the end of the road. So I sat here for a minute and drove around with my son, and I figured out, in my mind, the only place I see that you would think you could hide or conceal anything, especially a corpse, would not be any of the roads that you're seeing so far. This is the second of that sort of little road I showed you. Now this one, I don't know. Doesn't really look like a car would go up. It gets kind of steep up there, but that's a lot to do. But it's a possibility. When you look around, there's just a lot of trees and things, but there are a lot of open gaps in between those, but not big enough to jog through. And since joggers found them, my mind was looking for an area where a jogger might be and where Samantha could always sorry y'all, you feel something when you're out here, and I am an empath. I've said it before. My son's actually in the car on this one. He didn't want to be where it happened, and I get that. It's not something you can handle a lot of, and I would never force him to. So he's in the car down just by the memorial area. Anyway, that's the road. We just saw that white truck heading up, so you can certainly drive up that. That looks a little steep too, but I don't think she would have chosen that one. Again, it's just like the other two. They're big and open, and they get traffic. So the last spot I found was right here. You can get in here from a big open. I'm gonna walk down. Don't want to get my car. Hold on. Okay, so it's another opening that you could go up, but it's got a big no trespassing, or trespassing I should say, sign in the middle of it. Doesn't say why. but I'm not going to trespass. I was wondering if that was something maybe from the cops, but it just looks like a standard no trespassing. Oh, it looks like there's a building, so someone possibly lives back there. Maybe that was the gentleman that was talking on the news about hearing footsteps at about 6 in the morning. But right next to that path, there's this little road. It's not even a road. I just noticed it. And it's a trail. So in my mind, trail, jogging trail, it's the only one that I think somebody would try to walk into and conceal something. It does look like you could drive through here, but it also looks like the best path for jogging. So I'm assuming, because of how close we are to the memorial, that she possibly walked up this little path, because they said the joggers just went off the trail a little bit behind a tree and found the body. Oh, there's trees everywhere in here. I mean, everywhere. Plenty of trees. And I'm gonna go in here because this is the first kind of opening of that trail that's off the trail. You wouldn't jog over here because it's not good turf for jogging. But see the memorial from here a little bit. I saw the red balloon. There we go. So this is off the trail just a little. It's in very close proximity to the memorial. And, you know, lots of trees, lots of trees. I see something. I see something. I'm off the trail, you guys. I'm over closer to the highway now, but except I'm just in the woods. I feel like this is what you would do. There's a lot of just, you know, the trail is over there. Can't really see it from here. I was hoping I could find a remnant of police tape or something that would help me know where exactly, but you can't see me from the road, you can't see me from the path, and I'm just off of both of them right now. And it goes on through, it starts to open up. You have to kind of climb up the hill there to get back to the jogging path. And if you kept going back all the way up here, you would end up right at the road. She didn't come this far. Sorry, something stuck me in my foot. I have on tennis shoes, but so I'm going back same direction I came. You guys can see the highway, some traffic to the right. The jogging path is to the left, but without going through the woods, this is the only way you can do that and get into this little groove. So bear with me. Oh my gosh. It's hot, I tell you that, but it was early in the morning when they found him, so, well, yeah, it was. I think they said about 6 or 7 when the joggers called it in. So that would be going back out towards the street. That little kind of groove is not a path. And then now I'm coming back to where we were, onto the path. We're not that far from the beginning of it, as you can see, tail end of my car from here. But there was a lot of shrubbery. And there were places back in there where we just went that you could have thought that you were going to conceal something. If I keep going up this path, just looking off to the left, lots of shrubbery. Not to mention this side, which it could have very well been, but it's not really open in there where you can walk through like we just did. And maybe that would be more of a reason for her to go there, because it's just all... Go in here a little bit. Yeah, you get in here and it's like... Oh no, y'all. Might have been the route because it seems like a deeper hide. Check it out. Opens up a little bit here. Wish I had some indicator. But as we can see, the bottom line is lots of places that you could hide something. Or a little baby boy. But the joggers would have no reason to really be in here. I'm a little far off that path. It sounded like they more so just went to take a leak real quick. It wasn't said that they smelled an odor or something that would have made you come in this deep. So if they just went off the path a little bit to use the bathroom, I don't see it happening way up here. Now there is a incline to this, a little further from the car now. It opens up a little bit right across from here, but got that tree right there. Let's go up here. This is more of where I think someone would pop off to take a leak or something, because it's open enough to move around, but still not too far off the path. Let's see what that is. What tree? I don't know. That's back over where we were. It leads to the same area. Just wanted to see what that was. Okay, I am gonna go on up a little more, because I want to get to the top of this trail, really. Ow. Got stuck by some pines. Alright, let's see. Shades on. Okay, so the higher up you go, the closer you get to that home. I can see it again. So that would lead me to believe she definitely didn't come this far up. Then again, if he heard her footsteps, she may have. I can hear my footsteps, but I don't think they can hear them from the house from here. So let me just see what happens at the top of this. This is my exercise for the week, maybe. Ooh. Nice jog, though. My God. If this is it. I don't know why, if they were in any of the other trails, why the memorial would have been set where it was, though. because those are on the other side of the street, so it wouldn't make sense. Ooh, that was a lot of work. So there's the house. And you can get all down there and kind of go through it if you wanted to, but she would have saw that house. A little bit of a hill right here. What's that stick? 284 plus 000. What is that? I don't know. This is a tree. Maybe it's just a mile marker. I don't know. This is like right off the trail. This would be a horrible, horrible hiding place. But I don't know why that stick would be in here marking this point either. And if you stand up here, you can see the street. The street can see you. The house has a better view of you. You have to go up this thing. More houses. There's a big storm drain down there. Thank God she didn't go for that. Well, it's too close to the street. That would have been insanity. Even though all of this was insanity. Can you imagine walking through all this with your deceased baby? If he was dead before they got here, we don't know if she killed him here. We don't know. We're still waiting on all that info. That's why we got to get her in court and get her talking. But walking through all this in the wee hours of the morning. He had to be alive, you guys. I mean, right? Would you be carrying him? This is a lot. I'm a small person and I'm breathing heavy after being over here. Just looking down there, another tree off the path. Just wish we knew exactly where. But if you go over that way, you're just getting closer and closer to people's homes. I would think they would have video cameras. And if you came up here, it would just be crazy. I don't think that's over. We're at the top. You see, you can't even see my car anymore. It's not a jogging trail. I don't know. This is too open. And it's not I just don't see it. But you'd have to walk. This is the only thin one that I think joggers would use. But even if this isn't the exact one, I showed all the other ones. They're all bigger. I don't think if you want to hide something, you're going to go into an area like that. But I'm not Samantha. But I can tell you this. Lots of trees. He could have been behind any one of them. But to carry a child, 7 years old, my son was a skinny little 7-year-old. He really was. And I couldn't have carried him all this way. I would have been tired as heck. I mean, I could have, but I would have been very tired. This is a long way. Unless she actually drove her car in here. Saved herself a walk. But that would be drawing a lot of attention to yourself. And again, I don't think attention is what you want when you're doing that kind of dirt. So I don't see it. I'm wondering if Liam was alive. I thought even went through my head, maybe she gave him some like cough medicine so he would be getting sleepy. When they get the footage, because all of our hotels are pretty much hotel casinos, but they all have fantastic surveillance and security. So we'll know the condition of Liam when they left the hotel, when they let us know, when we can see the footage. We're back at the bottom now. You can see all the other trails are just, this one, literally, I could have blinked and missed it. It's very skinny, and it's off of another trail. This would be the only one I think somebody might even think they could hide something. And I think she had to do it before she got to the top because of the houses up there. Maybe she got close, which is why one of the residents out here said they thought they heard footsteps. Or maybe they were out and about that morning. I don't think there's anything up there except their house. And I get the no trespassing, you don't want everybody up there. But yeah, we're back at the bottom now. And you can see what I mean about how this trail is big and open. This was just a little tinier over there to the left. As opposed to the rest of these, which is wide open. Can't miss it. Wide open. And the last one is down there. It's hard to see from where I'm standing, but let me see. Wide open, and it's by the highway. Memorial. Get my bearings together, y'all. Right there. Sorry, I was looking at my feet, checking for ants. Right there. I'm just gonna walk over to this first one. Just want to see if it had a hill. Just something I have to get out of my head. See, she certainly wouldn't have done this because look how close you are to the road. Not to mention the entire trail park is like, yeah, you're just totally visible. So it does go up. I just can't see it. Again, unless. And I don't know what's making me want to look at this one. I think because there's another trail off to the left that I see. Hope it's not too bouncy. If it is, that's just my jam. That's an old joke from Martin. It must be, wait a minute, let me get it right. That's my jelly, not my jam. There we go. He said it must be jelly because jam don't shake like that. Anyway, yeah, no. This is the trail that's off of this road, and I'm definitely not climbing that, and I can't see her doing it. Well, there's a little one right here, but would we? Nah, I don't see it. Because you have to have the joggers jogging and coming off the path, and there's no... I just don't see it. Can't resist myself, can I? We're supposed to go eat dinner after this, and I'm all hot and sweaty. Whew. It's not terrible out here today, though. Even though it's supposed to be like 104. I can't feel it up here by the mountain. A lot of mountains on the other side of us. See? So it's rather cool. Probably was even a little nippy that morning. This broken tree just made me want to come up here. But I don't see where they would have been jogging. Or why you would go this far off your path to take a leak. So I'm going to turn around. See, even that, you get winded. And how far would you make a little kid walk if he was walking on his own? And how far could you carry him if you were carrying him? As you can see, I can see the street from where I am. That tree isn't even out of street view, so I don't see it there. As we can see, still within eye shot of the memorial. But we are back behind a few trees. If we kept on up this little trail here, I can still see the road. The road can see me. I would think if she used this one, we'd have a lot more eyewitness accounts of a lady walking around this time. Because the road is just there. At the top of this one. Yeah, this is just too visible. Look at that. I mean, it's all open. The street can see me, I can see the street. Now when you get in here a little more, I will admit, you are kind of crowded by these trees. A little bit. Still the street. A little bit, right here, a little bit. Okay, a little bit. They'd have to really be looking for you up here from the road to see you at this point. A couple of open spots here and there, like there. But for the most part, the trees here. I mean, I guess joggers could jog here, but it's more the visibility that makes me think this isn't the area. Just gonna make it to the top of this one so I can see what we see. Yeah, so this is the opposite side. Anyway. It's more the same. Up, and then you go down in a little groove. I saw a sign that said NDOT, so I know Nevada Department of Transportation comes up here. Really don't see a lot of, I don't see any footprints. I did see some on the first path that we walked up. A couple. I imagine the tire tracks cover them up, but this is the cactus. It's just an area with trees right off this path that I'm on, but that's a lot of walking. And I just don't think, again, that she would have chosen this one because the entrance to it is directly off the highway and the visibility is high. only of these 5 trails that I found, or paths, the only one I found that I think even resembles a trail, as I understand a trail to be, is the one we walked through. It also had the most area for concealment, if you will, as far as her going there without being seen with her son in whichever condition we find out he was in, and as far as putting a body there. I've got to go back to the press conference, and I'll link it in the video, but I'm not remembering that he was like, let me not speculate. Just got to double check how the body was found. Had it been there for a little while, or did they think he had just been dropped there that day? It's probably going to be in the coroner's report, but I think in the first part of the reporting, I think somebody mentioned it's just too close to the street. Yeah. So this is where Samantha Moreno Rodriguez brought her 7-year-old son and left him behind one of these trees. One size fits all. I don't know. Just looked like a small hat to me. This is way too close to the street. Plus, I know that they left California. I'm not going to take that. One could have blown it from the memorial or something. I don't know. But it'd be so sad if he was wearing it. Ay, ay, ay. I am tired. Rest in peace, Liam. They're gonna figure this thing out. And you're gonna get justice. Thank y'all for watching. Say a prayer for Liam and Nicholas Husted. He has been returned to Southern Nevada. That's what they wanted. They wanted to get her back in Clark County so that they could charge her with open murder. They believe they already have enough evidence to prove they actually did. They haven't told us yet exactly how Liam was murdered, but we do know that based on what they're saying, this heifer dragged this baby over all kinds of rocks and other debris to get him up and off the jogging path. Up the jogging path and then off of it, because he was about, I think they said 6 to 8 feet from the jogging path. He was behind a tree, and a jogger happened to go behind the tree for a moment, probably, I'm assuming, to use the restroom, and that's where they found his body. Thank God that jogger went off the path that day. positive eventually somebody would have started to smell it because there are a couple of ranch houses just beyond that jogging path. But by then, his body could have been picked at and severely decayed. Okay, he was there long enough. So they catch up to this heifer in Denver. We find out that she was actually having breakfast with some guy, random guy she supposedly had just met a day or two before. We know that she left a note for her partner. I'm not sure. I'm sorry if Nicholas was married to her, but Nicholas Husted is the father of Liam. He left him a note before they left California saying that she was going to go get a home for her and Liam, and she was sorry she had to do it this way. We still don't know the whole story on that, but I mean, as far as did she leave for another man? Well, doesn't look like it because she hooked up with a random stranger and went to breakfast, but we don't know. Where was she headed in the first place? Was she on her way to Denver to begin with? When did this happen? Why did this happen? When did you determine that you were going to murder Liam? After you left the hotel here in Las Vegas? Or what? I don't know. I don't get any of this. But you're looking at her face right now. This mean, ugly mug right here. Oh, I don't discriminate. Man, woman, black, green, blue. They can be mean, ugly mugs once they get to this point, for sure. Mother accused of killing son returned to Nevada. The woman accused of killing her son and dumping his body has been returned to southern Nevada. This is just really good news because she put Clark County through a lot. And when you have these officers searching and stressed out and frustrated, they don't take too kindly to that. So, Miss Thing, they are ready to put the pedal to the metal on this case. Let's see. This story was just released. The woman accused of killing her 7-year-old son and dumping his body off State Route 160 has been returned to southern Nevada to face a murder charge. Clark County Detention Center record shows Samantha Moreno Rodriguez, 35, has been booked at the jail on a single count of murder in the death of her son, Liam Husted. Rodriguez previously waived extradition following her June 8th arrest in Denver, clearing the way for her return to the Las Vegas Valley this week. Rodriguez is scheduled for an 8:30 a.m. arrest warrant hearing in Las Vegas Justice Court on Wednesday. That's tomorrow, so we'll get our next update Wednesday, June 30th, 8:30 a.m. Liam's naked body was found May 28th near the Mountain Springs Trailhead, off the road between Las Vegas and Pahrump. Initially referred to as John Little Zion Doe, Liam went unidentified for more than a week as investigators fielded hundreds of tips. Police said the child's body had multiple injuries. According to an arrest report in the case, Rodriguez had taken Liam and left their San Jose home on May 24th. The mother and son checked into a Las Vegas hotel on May 27th. The day before the boy's body was found off the trail in Mountain Springs, a friend of Rodriguez's ultimately saw news reports about John Little Zion Doe and contacted the San Jose Police Department to alert officials that the then unidentified boy resembled Liam. The identity was later confirmed by authorities. Police assessed Rodriguez's email account, which led detectives to a Days Inn just south of Denver that Rodriguez checked into on May 31st. Police reports said. An exact motive in the crime has not been detailed by authorities. We believe there is sufficient evidence to bring charges against her for open murder, and we want to proceed against her on the charge. Clark County District Attorney Steve Wilson told the Las Vegas Review-Journal previously. This is a developing story. Please check back for details. So, justice for Liam. How can a mother do this? How can we not think the absolute worst of this person as we look into these demented eyes? And I'm glad they wiped off that damn makeup. First mugshot from Denver, she looked like she had just left the club. I mean, and she did her makeup in the dark. Sorry, but not. So she is going to face charges here in Nevada. They're not going to play with her. And they shouldn't. Who does this? Why didn't you just leave him with Nick? Why bring him all the way here just to end his life? You could have left and went and had breakfast with all the strangers and randoms you wanted to forever. And his dad could have raised him. Why do people do this? I cannot understand. They're not better off dead. They're better off without you. You guys know I'll be bringing some court records and following up on this. And please, please hit the like, because Liam, I don't think his story is getting as much coverage as it should. I do not. And that makes a difference. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like how I deliver the message. Just get the message. And if you care about Liam and if you care about life, hit the like button so other people can know this video exists, which in turn lets them know that Liam exists. Quote unquote mother, the lady in front of us. Check this out. She was having breakfast with a man she just met before she got arrested. Who kills their child, drops him off in a field, and books it 3 states over, meets some random, and enjoys breakfast. These people are really psychotic out here. Like, really psychotic. How the hell do you enjoy pancakes with this shit on your brain? I barely wanted my dinner when I left the walk through that crime scene. Is this bitch crazy? Excuse me, headphones. Nope. Let's just let the media tell it, because they won't curse.
Right now, we're waiting for Samantha Moreno Rodriguez to face a judge. The I-Team's David Charnes joins us live in studio with new information about a possible motive. David.
Yeah, Christian and Denise, well, a lot of more information will, of course, come out in the next couple of weeks. Metro Police Lieutenant Ray Spencer is providing the I-Team with new information you have never heard about this murder and what led up to it until now. I'm sorry I had to do it like this. It's just part of the message Samantha Moreno Rodriguez left for her partner as she took their son, 7-year-old Liam Husted. I'm going to try to get a house for Liam and I, and we can talk about this in the future, she says. Days later, her son would be dead.
There was every indication when she left San Jose that she was intending on starting a new life.
Glimpses of that new life can be seen in Moreno Rodriguez's booking photo taken hours after her arrest at this Denver area hotel.
She was, dressed up and, had makeup on, and it appeared to be that she had just were having breakfast.
Having breakfast with a man she met just days earlier. She's taken into custody June 8th, less than 2 weeks before she and Liam check into a Las Vegas hotel. A day later, on May 28th, hikers find Liam's body behind a bush off a trail in Mountain Springs.
We were very, very fortunate that that hiker happened to go behind that bush that morning.
Metro Lieutenant Ray Spencer tells the I-Team they believe Moreno Rodriguez killed Liam early the morning on the 28th on that trail, leaving him naked, his clothes never found.
We knew from an examination of Liam's body that someone was having a difficult time moving him.
That's due to multiple scrapes found on his body. Police say they know how Liam died, but they're waiting on the coroner to rule. Now the 24 detectives who worked the case, looking into 500 tips, are taking a well-deserved breath.
At the end, when everything comes out on how much work went into this case. It's just an unbelievable effort by this police department to hold someone responsible for what they did.
But with many answers now in place, one big question remains.
Why did this occur? And the only person who knows that is Samantha.
Okay, so let's see. Let's read this and get a better, deeper understanding, at least for me. The mother accused of killing her 7-year-old son was having breakfast with the man she had met days earlier when police arrested her, the I-Team has learned. Samantha Moreno Rodriguez, 35, of San Jose, California, is accused of killing her son, Liam Husted, and leaving his body in Mountain Springs near Las Vegas last month. Police arrested Moreno Rodriguez earlier this month in Denver. On May 28th, hikers told police the then unidentified child was found 8 feet off a dirt road near several bushes. I'm sorry I had to do it like this. It's part of a message Moreno Rodriguez left for her partner and Liam's father before she took off with the boy in late May, police said. I'm going to try and get a house for Liam and I, and we can talk about this in the future. But days later, Liam was dead. There's every indication that when she left San Jose, that she was intending on starting a new life, Las Vegas Metro Homicide Lieutenant Ray Spencer told the I-Team. Glimpses of that new life can be seen in Moreno Rodriguez's booking photo, which was taken just hours after her June 8th. She just looks crazy to me. Your face all night. Did you get ready for this mugshot? Girl, it did not work. Okay. She was dressed up and had makeup, Spencer said, adding she was eating with a man she had met days earlier when police came into the restaurant and took her into custody. Less than 2 weeks before that, Moreno Rodriguez and her son had checked into a Las Vegas hotel. A day later, Liam was found dead. Using databases from license plate readers, police tracked the mother's car from Northern California to Southern California to Southern Nevada. The car was then tracked to Colorado on May 29th. We were very fortunate that that hiker went behind that bush that morning, Spencer said. Investigators believe Moreno Rodriguez killed Liam early in the morning on May 28th, leaving him naked and dragging his body behind a bush. Clothing was never found. We knew from the examination of Liam's body that someone was having a difficult time moving him, Spencer said. Police said Liam's body had multiple scrapes, but his official cause of death has not been released. Now, in the video where I go out there, you guys, I said it's hard walking around there, and I'm a little person, and I don't carry much weight behind me. I was dressed lightly with just some light Reeboks or something on. I wasn't bogged down, and I was out of breath. There's a steep incline to almost every trail over there. And I was trying to figure out, was she carrying him? No, this would have been too hard. So, did she make this baby walk to his death? But I was wrong, y'all. This heifer dragged this baby. That's what this is saying. All the scrapes and scratches. That's the only other thing, and I didn't think of that because it's ridiculous. As a mother, I could barely think of what I was thinking of, but she dragged this baby. That's the only other way you can do it. What a bitch. Oh my God, y'all have to look at that video and you will see why this is bothering me so much. You dragged him? Oh my God, let me keep reading. Oh my God. Now that the 24 detectives who worked the case around the clock looking into 500 tips are taking a well-deserved break. At the end, when everything comes out about how much work went into this case, it's just an unbelievable effort by this police department to hold someone responsible for what they did. With many answers in place, one big question remains. Why did this occur? Spencer asked. The only person who can answer this is Samantha. This? I will link the video of the walkthrough. You will hear me try to figure out how she did that. And I had come to the conclusion she must have had him walking. Maybe he was drugged and getting drowsy along the way and then bam, she hit him over the head. But, that's all I could think of. But this is telling us right here how he got up there. He was scraped, multiple scrapes, like somebody had trouble getting him there. Yeah, because other than carrying that baby up, all you could do was drag off that trail and behind those damn bridges. This is always the hard part. And we haven't even got the autopsy back. They knew from looking at him what happened. And I know that's what it was. He was dragged. But how was he murdered? And why? You won't see it all over the news. But he existed. Before his mother took him from his home where they resided with his father and decided she was going to play God. He took his life and left his lifeless body on the side of a jogging path. He drove on up the road. We've been through a lot. Finally figured out who he was. Then we figured out where he came from and who did this, at least who left him there. Clark County was looking for Samantha Moreno Rodriguez, get her extradited from Denver back to Las Vegas so they could charge her with open murder. They felt they had enough evidence to do just that. Well, she made it back to Clark County. She's been before the judge. And now we get some answers. And we already knew from the condition of his body that he had most likely been dragged up the rocky terrain that led to where his body was left. The jogging path. He had multiple scrapes and scratches all over his body. Now we find out exactly how she killed him. Hopefully soon we'll know why. Take a listen.
Mother accused of killing her 7-year-old son and leaving his body in an area near Mountain Springs admits to killing him. 35-year-old Samantha Moreno Rodriguez making her first court appearance here in Las Vegas. She told police she choked her son, Liam Husted. Our Bianca Holman live in the newsroom with what we learned in court today, Bianca.
Samantha Moreno Rodriguez was extradited here from Denver earlier this week. Her court appearance today was a warrant return hearing. She faces 1 count of murder in the death of her son. Now, according to Liam Husted's family and police reports, he was autistic. Back in May, Moreno Rodriguez left her home in San Jose, California with Liam, and they made a stop here in Las Vegas. In court, the prosecution shared Moreno Rodriguez became frustrated with Liam, strangling him for about 15 minutes. She then took his clothes off and left him in a hiking area near Mountain Springs. After she drove to Denver, there police tracked her down. The judge today did not grant bail.
The choking, strangling the child, disposing of the body after he was deceased, and then going to Colorado, I do find that that burden was met. Now, if that we have the preliminary hearing and there's an issue with that confession, this will be readdressed, okay? I will always leave that door open for you. But for right now, the state did make its burden. I'm granting the state's request. She is remanded without bail.
When the boy was found, it took some time for him to be identified. A friend of the family saw reports contacting San Jose Police Department and Liam's dad. Also, during this morning's court proceedings, Moreno Rodriguez was assigned a public defender. She's expected to be back in court August 3rd. Bianca Holman, 8 News Now.
Is a case that continues to captivate the Valley, the murder of a little boy whose body was discovered on a nearby hiking trail late last month.
We've been following the death of 7-year-old Liam Husted from the morning that he was found, and this morning his mother, Samantha Moreno Rodriguez, made her first court appearance here in Las Vegas. Fox 5's Faven Kay was there the moment that state prosecutors revealed an alarming detail, an alleged confession by the mother about how she killed her son.
Samantha Moreno Rodriguez's court hearing lasted all but 10 minutes. It may have been quick, but what we learned in that short time shocked the courtroom.
All right, do you understand the charge?
Yes, I understand.
Is Samantha Moreno Rodriguez your true name?
Yes, it is.
It's the first time we're hearing her voice. The 35-year-old mom accused of killing her son, then dumping his body on a nearby hiking trail, making her initial court appearance in Las Vegas Wednesday. Samantha Moreno Rodriguez was masked and appeared via video conferencing.
Can you afford to hire your own attorney?
No.
Facing one count of murder in the death of 7-year-old Liam Husted, she was appointed counsel, an attorney who immediately requested she be granted a bail amount. State prosecutors, however, disagreed.
At this point in the case, it appears that this is a pretty egregious case.
And then, this shocking revelation.
The defendant strangled her son, Liam, 7-year-old autistic son.
Until now, that stunning detail was a mystery.
She essentially said that she became frustrated with the child and strangled him for what she believes was approximately 15 minutes.
A confession Rodriguez allegedly made to Las Vegas homicide detectives.
15 minutes. She strangled this baby for 15 minutes. Oh my God.
Who flew to Denver following her June 8th arrest. According to prosecutors, she also admitted to stripping Liam's clothes off and leaving him naked in the desert.
I think the proof is evident, presumption great, that first-degree murder by child abuse was committed and she should be held without bail at this point.
Judge Amy Shalini agreed, but made it clear that her decision is not final.
We have the preliminary hearing and there's an issue with that confession and this will be readdressed, okay? I will always leave that door open for you.
Moreno Rodriguez's next court hearing is set for August 3rd. Until then, be sure to stick with Fox 5 for any new developments. In front of the Regional Justice Center, Faven Kay, Fox 5 News, local, Las Vegas.
So thanks to Samantha Moreno Rodriguez, there was a pause in Liam's story. She tried to end it, but we're not going to let it happen. Because we can keep his name alive. We can keep his spirit alive just by saying his name. So tonight, tomorrow, sometime soon, tell somebody what you know about a little boy named Liam Husted, who's gone too soon by the hands of his mother. Liam's life matters. My prayers go out to Nicholas Husted, Liam's father, and I will keep a close watch on this case and let you guys know what happens to the monster under the bed. Kiss your babies and hold them tight, beautiful. I'll see you in the comments. Justice for Liam Husted.
getting tired of looking on the news. To see these kids miss it just sickens my mood. Now I got an attitude. You think I won't battle fool? I will slap the fuck out of you. Maybe I am a radical. Charged up with a matador. If you don't love the kids, why do you got them for? Tell the truth, how they got out the door. These cases I can't ignore. You damn right I want your face on the floor. We lacking info pimping, I'ma need more. See, it's the truth that we want. You're supposed to love your kid, the truth is you don't. Somebody bring them parents up to the front. Them kids been missing for months. Damn right I'm mad, pimp, I done had enough. Oh, my business, bitch, I don't give a fuck. I might just tear this shit up. Now we got summer, we got horse, and we got on. Like the parents, they don't care. I'm like, what the fuck you doing? All of the YouTubers pursuing. They do more than what you doing. Now how the fuck you gonna influence? Your reputation done been ruined. Why they taking these kids? I'm so sick of this shit. Why they taking these kids? I'm so sick of this shit. Why? Remember that kid they left in the car? Sydney Dill, she had a bum for a father. And it was hot as Navarre. Just break the window, but he wouldn't even bother. He making kids, now that's really a problem. What about that fella Kawan? The lady picked him up was a mom. Now Kawan was a friend with a son. I can't believe what they done. They found his body in the sugar cane field. Now his parents gotta shed some real tears. This ain't how the fuck we supposed to live. If you got a kid, show them that you love them. Cause they leaving on the door. Protect them, gotta keep them covered. Cause there's some evil motherfuckers plotting, waiting just to touch them. Don't you think this shit is nuts? They taking kids out by the dozen. It's so many living in your city limits. If you think that they offended, that mean you think this again. It only take a single man. Evaluate the way you live. This was a blessing you was given. It's gonna hit you different if your child just end up missing. Why they taking these kids? I'm so sick of this shit. Why they taking these kids? I'm so sick of this shit. Why they taking these kids? I'm so sick of this shit. Why?
I brought my creativity to YouTube in May of 2021. And the slideshow that you've seen it highlights every case that I've touched, every story I've tried to tell and shine a light on. That is not me gloating. That is me saying, why the hell is the list so big? Now, all of that didn't happen in 2021. Those were just all the stories I shined my light on because they caught my attention. They moved my heart. But why do I have a year's worth of stories in only 7 months? And a to-do list a mile long. If only I had more months in the year. It's heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking. I didn't set out to make a true crime channel, and I don't intend to become that. It's just that this channel is about things that I admire, things I represent, things that I wish that more people at least knew about. That was the whole and only concept. And in doing that, I guess even I've had to realize, and I knew I was true crime, but I guess I'm a lot more true crime than I realized. So it dominates the channel. But it's not the only thing you have seen or will see here. I won't say that. But you will see it, and a lot of it. And I don't share it for fun and entertainment. I don't. That might be what the fair use says, but I don't share it for entertainment purposes only. I don't want to get emotional. And this is not about me. It's about what this channel has made me truly realize. You know, the world is hurting. And people need help. So, of December, we're going to dry our eyes and we're going to use our voices. And I would like to share with you, reshare with you, as many of the stories as I can that I have shared during this year. I pray that in the coming year, these families will have justice and peace. And to help them find it, I only ask that you click that button that says share. If you care about these people, do what you can to help them. That's all I'm doing. So look out for it. All month long, every single day. We started with Echo Lloyd, and I don't know what the next will be. I'll pull from my playlist and I'll pull from my heart. One last shot at it in 2021. Maybe even get justice. Well, that's all I got. I'll see you in the comments and every day in December.